there's no end to where that can go, right? And the more value we put into total rewards by networking and extending it with other companies, by learning more about what our customers want, by creating more unique experiences. So for instance, one of the things you can do with your best total rewards people is give them experiences that they couldn't get anywhere else. Like being able to make a dinner with a 5-star chef. That's not an easy thing to ever arrange. We can arrange that for people. Being able to get a shopping tour through Harrah's Forum shops by themselves or something. So it's all about, it's an extension of that customization and personalization. Does that make sense? So that they feel that we are a place that knows them and welcomes them.
Charlie, how many analysts do you have on your team, and how many project managers do you have?
That's a good question. So what's slowly happening is that over time, the concept of analysts, they're very different roles, project managers and analysts, but over time, people are being asked to play both roles. So it's hard for me to say how many we have of each. Together, we probably have in the neighborhood of about 100, maybe 120. But we're evolving into a place because we have so much work to do, I can't segregate functions. But think of it this way. In the old days, when everyone did something specific in IT, and I had a lot of work to do, but an existing workforce, what that meant is that every single person had to stop what they were doing several times a day, move to another project, completely reorient their mind, and do that specific thing on the other project, right? A typical analyst might have 6 or 7 projects, maybe 10. If the analyst can do multiple jobs, you can dedicate that analyst to many fewer projects, maybe 1 or 2, and we all know the switching cost is enormous, right? Because if I ask you to do 20 things in a day, orienting your mind to suddenly doing that other thing takes time. It takes mental adjustment. And you're not thinking of it all the time, right? When do we think of our best things? In the shower, right? That's no joke. We think of things in the shower. How many of you have woken up and the next day you had this horrible problem, the next day it was obvious to you? When you have 20 horrible problems, you would need to sleep 20 days to have one solution. Or interrupt your sleep 20 times. So the point of what I'm saying is, the goal is to try to get people not to switch as much. But I hope that number helps. Does it?
Okay, looks like another guy is still...
Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to know, you switched over from a logistics company to being the CIO or CTO. Did you have the background in the computer management, or did you just come into something new and use your management experience to...
Well, I started out in a weapons company called Sandia Laboratories. And Sandia Laboratories was owned by a company called AT&T, and when they went through divestiture, I raised my hand and went through divestiture. And then there was this really exciting company to me called Kellogg's that at that time was growing and owned, I think, 80% of the world's cereal market. And I wanted to work for Kellogg's, so I studied Kellogg's, talked to a bunch of people, networked into Kellogg's and got a job at Kellogg's. I switched industries probably 4 or 5 times in my career, always by trying to understand what was needed and trying to either position what I had or pick up skills to fit. Does that make sense?
But was it necessary for the computer background to integrate into your new management position?
Yes, I had a computer background, and I think it would have been essential in that job. What I did not have was a gaming background. Where the way I connected to a gaming company is that the company I owned, my number 1 client was a bank called MD&A. You maybe have heard about them. They were a credit card company. Casinos, a large part of a casino is the bank. So I was able to kind of cause that bridge, right?
Okay, let's say... Okay, we are done today.